team cares a lot with our network that we want to do some live learning streams. And since Samoses recently won the RPG Maker XP on my stream, I thought like, hey, I can teach him how to use it. And also you people all, if you want to join. And me being a game developer myself as my main purpose in life right now, I am well equipped to show you this program, which was actually my introduction to game development when I was a kid, and I found it and I downloaded it and I was amazed and taught it to myself and was just flabbergasted by the fact I could make my own JRPGs.
And now I'm a big kid and I'm learning it as well.
Yes. And it's gonna be fun because it's super easy. I love it because it has visual scripting, so you don't need to know anything about code. It's all like button based and you get your list. It has still code behind it, but you don't have to deal with it at all. Right. Let me...
There are also visual scripting when I played around in Unreal Engine. And that was straightforward enough until I got to a point where I wanted to have my character hold a gun and that it says that the gun moves as I move the mouse. And then a lot of mathematics got involved and it got really confusing.
Yeah.
So it can still be confusing even though it's visual scripting.
I know. Like, Unity also has like a plugin for visual scripting, which is pretty good for basics. But I feel like as soon as you want to customize it a little more to what you actually want to do, I feel you quickly run into like the limits of it. Because not because of what it can and cannot do, but more about like if you do visual scripting, you never really get too complex into the mind that you need to think about how to solve these program like things. Like what's the problem you want to solve, and once you have coded, you kind of think differently about how to achieve these things than when you only have visual. Okay, where are settings of dopamine? I have the feeling the music is a bit loud, but I do not find settings. Nope. What has happened? Also looks different than I remember. Dopamine.
That's some chill music.
Yeah, I thought we can, get some chill music for a chill stream. If I could just find dopamine.
It's just the most confusing thing on the world to hear you on a stream delayed and then hear you in the Discord. It's so confusing.
I know, that's why I'm streaming the screen for you, so you don't have to react like half a minute late to what I show you. But yeah. Where are the settings? Are you kidding me? Songs, playlists, folders. Oh, oh my god, so hidden. So well hidden. Behavior.
In times like this, I wish I would have a second monitor.
Yeah. Yeah, now I can turn it down. I think that's better. Okay, my friends. So we start with creating a project. So we go to File and New Project. And then we can name it There's a Lot, or whatever you choose for your project. You can. So the first one is.
I'll call it There's a Lot.
Yes, perfect. So the first one is the folder name. The second one is how you actually want to name it. So if you have like two separate names for the folder, it makes more sense to have it in one. Like There's a Lot Saga or _ Saga, something like this, and the title can be There's a Lot Saga, something like this. It's not really like super important. Then the location you select, that's self-explanatory. And then we hit OK. And we will get...
I don't really see if you like have Windows open over the RPG Maker.
Oh, okay. That is probably because I'm just streaming the
program and not the screen.
Yeah, let me change that. Yeah, it's a bit...
I had a problem too when I was streaming Blender.
Yeah, it's a bit stupid that it captures the window, but not if the window itself, like the program has a pop-up. Yeah, okay. So now
Why do you have a water thing and I don't?
Well, because
Probably because it's different versions.
Probably. Do you have grass?
Yeah.
Or what?
I have grass, yeah.
Okay. You are on RPG Maker the light version?
RPG Maker XP.
Yeah. Where's the link? I can send it to the chat as well. Because there is a free version of RPG Maker VX Ace. It's called VX Ace Lite. So if you want to follow along with what I do, you can download that on Steam, and it makes it easier because then also you have a project to gather everything we did. I will also upload the project at the end and share the link so you have like a reference for this. Just a second, I need to respond to something and then we are ready to go. All right, so this is the basic setup. It always starts like this. So on the top left, you have your tile set. It's actually, yes. So these are the sprites you can use to draw your map. It has multiple layers. So one is usually just ground tiles, and the other one is more details, like doors or like holes, city. So this is basically the world map tile set. So you can have different tile set per in your project, but they are assigned to a map. So it starts with the folder. This is the game, and under the folder you will have maps. And this is a starting map. If you right click and go map properties or space, in this program you can open or interact with select elements with space. So if you press space or right click properties, you will get to your map, and here you can name your map with anything you'd like. Make sure you do something that you understand, like intro or prologue or starting city or whatever. It just doesn't matter as long as you know what it means. And it can also be different to what is displayed, because in later versions of RPG Maker, when you get to a new area, the name of the zone will be like blended in on the top of the screen. So you could be like, name this intro for yourself, so you know, and the display name can be Zeintroduced Forest, for example. And then this is the tile set which you can use. These are the defaults. So field is like outside world, exterior is like city, interior is inside a house, and dungeon, well, it's a dungeon. Those are like the base ones, but you can download a lot of different tile sets. There are a lot of free ones on the internet, like from other creators.
How would I import one?
You can import it over, I think, tools, resource manager, and these are all the resources you have. And there are organized in animations, battle backgrounds. Battlers are characters and monsters. Characters and monsters, characters for the world, blah blah blah. And you have tile sets here. and you can import it here. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that's not a tile set.
Those are pretty pictures.
Oh, titles. That's not that's titles. I misread. Titles. Yes, tile set. Preview. So it has to be in a grid. So the easiest way, if you have your own assets, is to load like one tile set into your graphic program and make sure that you are using the same grid. I don't know how much it is. It might be 128 pixels times 128. So the game knows where one tile is and where the next one starts. But we can look at this later because there are some things you need to take care of. You have to mark like which tiles you can walk on and which ones not. So for the beginning, I would advise to stay with the default ones. Or if you want to add some, just use pre-made ones that are specifically made for RPG Maker. But there's Steam Workshop that has plenty, I think, of tiles and tile sets. You can.
Oh, that's quite neat.
There are tiles. Oh, it's just 9, but still
Yeah.
some. But in the internet,
Better than nothing.
yeah. But on the internet, like you can just browse. There are communities that just have a lot of collections. Okay, so once you have your map set out, you can also increase the width and the length here. So if you want, it starts very small. So if you want it to be maybe a little broader and higher, or you want to move to the right, we can, let's say, turn to 120 height. You can have different backgrounds if you want to.
Does parallax background mean?
Parallax means that it doesn't scroll. Like, so when you like parallax traditionally means it's a 2D game, but you have different layers. Like, let's say a foreground, then you have mountains, and then you have a sky with clouds. And if you start moving to the right, the parallax effect is if the foreground where you're walking on moves from the right to the left at a high speed, then the mountains move from the right to the left at a lower speed. And the sky with the clouds move super slowly, and that creates the effect of depth, because it creates like the impression that the things are farther away and that therefore move slower.
I
So this
can imagine it.
yeah, that's like if you look at any side-scrolling game, especially the modern ones, they all have it. In this game, in the engine, it doesn't really do that, but what it does is that the background doesn't move. So the foreground moves with you, but the background doesn't, and that creates some sort of depth. We will see it when we test it. I'll just take whatever, like this cloud sky one.
Wait a second. I'll try that too.
No rush. Right, let me see.
Okay, it might be indeed better if I have the same version as you.
Yeah, but it should have background somewhere. It might just be on a different position. But RPG Maker XP must have that back at the time.
Because on the map properties, it doesn't say anything about background.
It might be called differently. What does it all say?
Wait a second.
I will use the exterior tileset actually for this one.
Okay. That was really fast. I have the other open now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Then, yeah, you can set up different things here, like which background any combat should have, what background music. There are also a lot of like default track, which are pretty good. Sound effects like fire or rain loops. We can leave that.
What does the auto change mean?
When you hover over it, it gives you a tooltip. So auto change makes the background sound change automatically when moving to the map. So which you usually want.
Yeah. So when you enter the map, that the music changes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why? Otherwise, I don't think why you need it, because you can just, if you want a music change in the middle of a scene, you just would use an event. But yeah, it's okay. So once you have all your settings, we go to OK, and the map will change accordingly. Now we have like a scroll bar because the map is larger than our screen, but that's okay. And I change to the exterior tile set because I want to start like in a forest or something. So I start with having a grass ground. So this grid that you see, that is basically showing where, when there's no tiles, it will show the background image. So the clouds that I selected would
so
be
you have
shown
a map
here.
there, but there's nothing on that map.
Yeah, this is the map basically. So, and as soon as I look beyond the, I mean, I can test it, and then you can see it. Ah, he's loud. Oh, oh, you cannot walk on rock. Okay, never mind. Okay, I will first put everything to grass. So I select grass. Then I will use the fill tool, the flood fill. Fill the region with the current tile. It's like in graphics programs, and then you just click and it fills everything with grass. And now I change to the rectangle tool and will go to, usually it's the second tab that has a transparent tile. So there's nothing here. Sometimes it's at the bottom, but there's always one tile that is transparent, and then I can oh no, this is actually for, oh no, it's on the first tab. So it has two invisible layers. The background and the foreground are two different layers. So if I put a tree here, or let's say this well, this is on top of the grass. You cannot select these layers. This is just automatic. So all the things from A is on the base, and B and C are on top of it. So when I want to have transparent part on the grass, I have to use the transparent thing on the A tile. So if I now, there's something. Oh no, it's down here. I think there's something really small that you cannot see. Oh, I didn't select it. Here. There you go. Okay, so it's down here. Sometimes, yeah, I always have trouble finding the correct transparent tile. But now, this was basically the horizon. So I can, with the middle mouse button, scroll, and I will just have like this little horizon part up here. So if I now press play. Shut up! You'll see not much because that's a gray part of the background. Let me just change it to a 1 with the clouds. Let's take this one. It also, you know, it's probably just white, but you know.
Yeah.
It's always so loud. Ah, there you see it.
I'm glad I don't hear it.
Ah, you can hear it. Okay, then it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the stream can hear it. So you see the clouds don't move with it. So that gives the background like the feeling of far away, especially if there's like mountains or something. And you already see like it has basic features like walking around, having a hero. This icon here, the transparent icon, is the starting position. So this is where you will be when you start. And so you have the map. Those are the 3 modes. You have the map, the events, and the region. Map is basically everything graphical on the on the terrain. And events is characters and basically anything interactable. So if you want to move the starting position as an event, you go to event or F6. So F5 and F6 toggles between ground and this, and you can drag and drop it like wherever you want the character to start. So it doesn't really matter. And now I will delete the well. So I do not see, now I cannot delete the well because I'm on the character, on the event layer. So I have to go back to the map layer, and now I can delete the well. All right, now we will create some trees. So
some happy little trees.
Yes, and some friends for the trees. You can also, so you see bigger assets like this are made into 3 or 4 like parts because everything has the same square size. So if you want to have built a tree, you can also drag a box. So I can drag a box above the entire tree and can place it. I still have to like pull, but this way I can pull. I don't have to like do it corner by corner. But the cool thing is, I think there's an eraser tool, shadow pen. No.
And you could also put a half a tree there if you want to.
Yeah, like if it's the side of a house, I can also just like drag like 2 and have them like this. But the cool thing is they already have, like if you want a lot of trees, they have the seamless forest tile. So I could go and make this and this. And they work together. So now I can take the bottom ones of these. Do this, for example. And the top part for this, and do the same for the lower part. So this is pretty cool. And just
long linear paths like this are not ominous at all.
Nope. And this way I can, tunnel, create a small tunnel. And right, for the beginning I usually do the rough level design. So if I want the characters to be moving from left to right, I first create a very strict path, roughly how the level is going to be. Sometimes you have to try a couple of times to get the seam right. And then once I'm done, I go in and refine it a little so I can be, have it not as harsh. Go a bit in here, and then I can, make it a little like this. Something like this.
And the program automatically knows that the character can't walk through trees.
Exactly.
Or do you need to tell it that?
If you create new ones, you need to tell that, but the default ones do have that built in. So, and they even have, I can show you, it even takes into account that you are hidden by the treetops, but like this, but you cannot walk into the trees. So that's pretty neat. You already have you already have the effect. Yeah, so you already can see I can walk to the edge here between the trees. It's a weird song. Okay, so like this. It's part of the song. It's so weird. Why is there this trumpet in it? This trumpet doesn't fit at all. Where does it come from? Okay, and never forget to save frequently, friends. It's very important.
Saving is important.
Yeah. Right. So this is just like an art style, or like the visual part of making the level a bit less levelly, because you don't want to create the feeling of like this is just a tunnel, even though it is just a tunnel. But you don't want to give the feeling. But you know, that's not important right now. We can tidy this up later. Oh my god, this is not. I will remove this song. This is too stressful. Where is it? I mean, the name already was weird. It was called Hasselhoff 86.
Hasselhoff.
Yeah, Hasselhoff. Okay. All right. Yeah, so we have now. Let's see. At least get the treetops done, so it's all pretty. And yeah, it comes with a complete menu system already.
That's so funny every time.
Yes. So if you press escape, you get your menu. It has the characters in there immediately. HP, MP, you have skills. So like all basic systems of a RPG are already in there. Equipment, equipping things, comparing the values is all in there. Even save system.
That's quite useful.
Yeah, it's super useful. You can immediately start playing and doing the thing. Everything you don't want to like deal with. At the beginning at least. And to actually does this, I'm not sure if the stream sees that because it's a pop-up. Because it might. Okay. It doesn't show that, so let me see. Window capture. RPG maker pop up. Now the question is, I probably have to do this every time.
It's really a pain in the ass.
Okay, so here's the game. But now if I quit it and start again, will it still find it? No.
Doesn't seem like it.
Crap. Now, oh yeah, no, it's there.
Yeah, I see it now in the stream.
Okay. The only problem is it's gonna be black then. Oh no, it's not. Where is it? Okay. Okay, how do I do this? I guess I have to do display capture then, but then I cannot go on different screens or Twitter or something. Well, anyway. Let's do it then.
Who needs Twitter anyways?
Yeah, who needs Twitter? Display capture. I trust you everyone to, you know. Oh, Mayana wants me to hydrate. Okay, display capture. Yes. Also, people will see OBS every time I open this. It's not my fault. It's RPG Maker's fault.
Get an OBception.
Yep. There we go. Okay. Now it should work. Okay. And I also have to. Oh no! I need to get water to hydrate for Mariana. I'll be right back.
All right.
There we go. Wasn't far. Just jumping in real quick. Make sure you don't die from lack of water. Everything is your fault, don't I? Thank you, Mariana, for taking care of my hydration. And also, yes, it's all my fault.
I find it funny that you have your dog and funny hats right beside you at all times, but not water.
Well, to be fair, the water was just 2 steps away from me.
Okay.
Okay. Now this works. All right. So, all the details that you have for the whole game, you can adjust in under Tools, Database, or F9. This gives you a lot of tabs for all the base, like parameters and anything that's important. So starting with a list of actors. So these are basically the playable characters, their classes, what weapons they use. So we could start with Osmosis and nickname Super Osmosis.
Exactly.
And now you have the classes, which
I want to be a monk.
Okay, you can be a monk, but you can also adjust everything. So the next tab would be classes. So you could be, you could go there and change the monk to, like sheep summoner,
Sheep puncher.
sheep puncher. No, we are an animal friendly stream. So important question: why is the new project reward called hats off to you if you actually put a hat on?
That is a good question I haven't thought about.
Because you, as the person who purchased the hat, you take your hat off and figuratively give it to me. That's why you say hats off to you, meaning me. See? Also, this is just default thing. I just enabled it.
But it makes sense now.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Osmosis, name, nickname. We have the initial level. So that's usually 1. It makes sense. Like if, for example, you meet the second character later, you can be like, okay, when you meet that character, it starts at 10, for example. Maximum level, description. So Osmosis likes sheep and punching things with fists.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
And right, here are the graphics. So once is your actor on the map. So you can, these are pre-made, so you have the actors in different angles and the walking animation. So I don't know which one fits best for Super Osmosis. You can pick whatever you want, like this guy. This looks like Osmosis, right? This looks like you. or you could be a sheep.
Oh, I'm an animal. Yeah,
You want to be a sheep? Okay, Osmosis.
I want to be a sheep.
Okay, then your class is sheep druid, because you can turn into sheep. Okay, so then your picture is also oh no. There used to be animal profiles as well in the other versions. No! Wait, we have this now where we have to change it. RPG Maker Animal Portraits. It's important. This is essential. This is the important part.
This is very important.
See, there we have it. RPG Maker. I download it to sheep. Now we go to Tools, Resource Manager.
And import that.
Yeah, I give you the link so people can follow along. Go to bucket. Does this work? Yes, that is. And Right, so we go to Tools, Resource Manager, and then to Faces. And then we can import, press import, use the image that we just downloaded, and they are marked with this red icon. I think that this marks like things that are added by the user. So now if we go back to the database, it should pop up here, sheep. There.
Yes.
Yeah. And as long as the dimensions of the boxes are correct, it's immediately works.
Okay.
So now we have a sheep.
So now I'm a sheep.
Yep. Now if I start the game, we are a sheep. Glorious sheep. And if I go into the menu, there is our portrait of the sheep, Super Simosis, the sheep druid,
Yes,
who just doesn't go out of wild shape ever. So
my wild shape would be that I turn into a human.
yeah, exactly. So you're actually a human druid. A wool druid. Okay. Right, then you could do this for all the other characters if you wanted to, but we can do this once we come to a point where we want to have another character. So in classes, this is actually pretty complex. You can adjust the curve of different variable stats. For example, maximum hit points. This is basically the graph, like with each level up, how your hit points will rise. So this is really if you want to get into the exact numbers of how you want this to start. So at level 1, it's 682, and at level 99, it would be 8,788. You can adjust all the things, like if you want to be like, hey, this is way too much, I want to start way lower with like 50 and end with, I don't know, 9,999, and then you say generate curve, or you can also generate curve and then type the things in, and then you have like growth type, like fast, average, or slow. And then we'll adjust it accordingly. If you want it to be non-linear, you can use either fast or slow. But you know, that's whatever. And here are like some quick settings, so you don't have to do the things manually. Oops. And you could do this for all. Ooh. What? Oh, 999. 9,000. There we go. Yeah, so you could do this for all the things if you wanted. At the beginning, it's really not important, I'd say. Because you have the pre-made things. Even if you want to flavor them differently, you would then, if you have some sort of warrior class, you can take like the stats from the soldier. And if you have not a thief, but I don't know, like a something that is like nimble, like a dancer, for example. You could also use the
like a yoga teacher.
A yoga teacher, you could use the stats of the thief, for example. And you have here all sorts of like that they have more crit. For example, you can like see the sheep druid has 6% more crit and the paladin only 4. So here you can customize the classes and also the experience curve to say how much experience you need for the next level. So this is like really fine-tuning things. These are, I'd say, at the beginning, not really important. Like when you come to balancing later, yes, but at the beginning, it's not that important. Here you can add the skills, which you get at which level for the class, which you can also customize on the next tab. So once you reach this level, you automatically learn these skills. So we could go here and you have all the, basically everything that is pre-made, and you can always add more by, say, change maximum and then say something 200 or something, and then you get more slots. And these slots you can they're blank, and you can add any skill you want.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be like
Bah.
it's like a sonic attack, and we pick a icon. What looks sonic-y? Or is this a buff?
How about we just pick the skull, because it's such a deadly attack.
Okay, it's such a deadly attack, we use the skull. I would say this, like, it could also be a self buff, you know, that the sheep is psychic self buff. But it can also be attack, so you can put in the description, like the epic scream of a sheep that tears your very soul apart.
Sounds epic.
Yep. It's a starting skill, right? So now you can say if it's skill type, special or magic. So this is basically just where they appear on your combat menu. And then you have something like MP cost or TP cost. Yeah, like MP for spells, TP for skills. Then you can select things like all enemies, one enemy, random enemy, allies, so basically the target. Let's say for now one enemy, and here you can say if it only is usable in battle, or if you can also use it always, so also out of battle.
You can never use it.
Or never, maybe it's just important that you have it or something, you know. So I'd say, I don't know, only in battle for now. And you have speed. So how fast, it's a bit like Pokemon, like which attack is faster if everyone does the attack. Success rate. So do you want to have it a miss chance? Then you put it down. Does it repeat? Does it give you TP? So, like a lot of things you can just play with. Physical attack, magical attack, or certain hit. Let's say it's a magical attack, obviously. And it costs 5 MP. And animation. Yeah, there are a lot of animations. Let's shout. Yes. And you can have customize message. So when you use it, this is what will appear. So in this case, it would say Simosis. So you can be like cast ba or does ba or uses ba or your own thing, you know. Fixed phrase displayed as a message when using a skill. So this you would use if it says, if you want username to be included, and this could be like something like the earth shatters or something. It's so loud. Okay. And then you can have prerequisites that, for example, if it's a sword flurry, then you can only use it if you have a sword, for example. But yeah. And effects, like if you want it to be like confuse people, you can say add state confusion with a chance of 10%, for example, or whatever you want. So it's very like, if you know Pokemon or RPGs, you can quickly get along here, because these are just like typical things you can add. You just have to find where. And here's a damage. So here's a damage type. So currently it doesn't do any damage. So we would have to say HP damage or whatever we want. Element, physical, I guess, formula. You could.
I think it would be more fun if the element would be something like dark.
Okay, it's a scream from out of hell. Yeah, so formula, if you hover over it and stay, it will tell you things that you can put into the formula, like if you want the attack stat influence, how much damage it does. Hey, Robert Oddstack, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Right. For example, yeah, if you want the higher your attack stat, the more damage it does, you can do it here. Or you do a quick quick creation. So you could be like, this has a base damage of 10, physical 10, and magical. No, it's magical because it's dark. So let's say magical 10. Then it will create like a formula.
Ooh.
Right. So you don't have to take care of it unless later in game development if you want to tweak it more, then then you can get more into it. But at the beginning, I would just recommend to use find pre-made things that are close to what you want to do, and then copy it. For example, Dark Cloud, for example. You can copy it. You can go down.
That's when the sheep farts.
Yes, and then paste it, and then you can change the name, and then you have like a reference for what does it do. For example, this doesn't do any damage, but has a 50% chance of putting blind on the target. So at the beginning, it's hard to understand what you want to do. So that's why I recommend find a skill that you think is close to what you want to do, and copy it and use the values. So Artsec, I woke up 2 hours ago. So good, how are you? 2 hours ago, someone sure does like sleep, huh? Well, good sleep is important. Yes, I am good too. Thank you. I have a chill Sunday so far, so that's nice. And now we are learning some RPG Maker. Yes, I played through the latest Final Fantasy XIV story. It's pretty cool. Okay, so now we could go back to our classes and say the Sheep Druid learns this at level 5 instead of the Tackle. So we go right-click, edit, and then exchange the Tackle for Right. There we go. And now we don't have it yet because we started at level 1. And
we don't have an enemy to use it on.
Exactly. So what we could do to start, we could also say we want to start with that skill. So we can also just change it to level 1. So now we start with the skill. True, but everything good becomes bad when there's too much of it. Well,
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yes. I mean, my wife would disagree because she can sleep forever and still don't regret any minute of it. But I agree. Now, just make an enemy without ears. Oh, right, we will make 2 enemies. The first one has large ears, so it's super effective. But the second one. Yeah, so now we will look at events. So make sure you're on the event mode or F6. Then you can double click on any square to create an event. And then it pops out. This is basically your scripting overview. Everything you want to do in scripting or is this screen. And there's a lot of stuff at the beginning, but first we go to graphics. So we want to pick how does this enemy look like. So we double click on the graphic, and then we can go to, I don't know, you can pick one from the monsters or an enemy. I mean, we can also say people. Where's people? We take
a bit more down.
Yes, we take a butcher. A butcher is the obvious enemy.
Indeed.
So
because he wants to get my meat.
Exactly. So we pick this lady. She looks like a hardy butcher. And now we have different
there's probably a place for an innuendo somewhere.
An innuendo?
Yes.
But you're a sheep.
About this woman wanting my sheep. My meat, not my sheep.
We'll see. Yes, so we have where it is. Like, you can have events that are below the character, like if you want to walk over it, like a ground tile if it's the same as the character. You cannot walk through the event, or a buff character if you want to be able to move under it. But this is a person, so it is same as a character. And I will change it to actual monster because it's more fun. Let's use a plant. It wants to eat the plant, but the plant has other plants.
Other plants.
Okay. And now everything you want to happen with this event go in a list here. So you can put in things here that happen one after another. For example, you can have first dialogue, then a sound effect, then another dialogue, and then a fight. You would put them in here one after another. And trigger at the bottom is when should the list start. So action button would say if I go to the character to the event and press enter, then the things happen. If I use player touch, then as soon as I come in contact with the event, that happens. Autorun it happens as soon as the map is loaded. So it would happen immediately after I start. That's good for cutscenes. Like if you come into a house and there's a cutscene, you would use autorun because then it immediately starts. And parallel process is something that happens continuously in the background. That's something for someone walking around or things
For
that
NPCs.
like things that happen while you do other things. So autorun cancels everything you do. So you stop move and then the event happens. Parallel process is like you can still move around and things happen in the background.
Okay. So if you pick Outrun, you don't need to tell your character that he can't move now.
Exactly. Outrun does that by itself. Okay. And now I want to use player touch. So as soon as I come in contact with a plant, something happens. So at first I will start. So with double click you can open. And now you have a lot of buttons.
How about the Scottish flower?
The Scottish flower?
Yeah. And it should talk like one.
Why? I don't even know how to write Scottish sounding, Scottish looking accent in text form. I already have trouble even speaking Scottish.
It's something about forking.
Forking. You forking shape? Why you come close to me?
Like that.
Yeah, fork off. I'm growing here. Yeah. I wish Og were on the stream. He could do this now. So
Yes.
good. Yeah. So these are all things you can now have as different sets and events. And those are a lot. At the beginning, you would probably feel a bit overwhelmed, but that's okay. Just take it one at a time. But usually, if you want to achieve something, there's usually a specific button for it that you have to find. So if we want to have dialogue, we will
show text.
Yes, show text, exactly. So in show text, you have the text and you can have an image. So I could use the sheep as an image, and then you can write the text immediately in here. I don't know if they do it that already, show the actor a name. I can press and preview. No, they don't do this.
I'm thinking, how would they know that it's me?
Well, because it's in the database. I mean, yes, now it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. You could link it somehow, but I usually just use like brackets like this and write the name in Smoses, and then followed by line break. Write like, oh my, a tasty plant. I want to eat it. I'm so good at dialogue. It's amazing.
Yes.
And then if you want to have an exchange, you can just repeat this. So now under it, I do a double click again, show text. Now we go to monsters. Oh no, we don't have a plant monster.
Oh no.
Okay, we will find more monsters. RPG Maker monsters.
Flower monster.
Monster faces. Faces. No. Plants. That's a bird. Give me plants.
Maybe you should tell Google to show you plants
Yes.
or flowers.
Plants deserve faces too. Nope. Guess nobody wants a talking plant.
How sad. Maybe
this
type
is-
in flower instead.
Flower. Flower face.
Let's talk to Pizza Floor.
Pizza floor, yeah, but this doesn't have to. It has to be like this exact frame, or it will just be like part of it. That's okay. Not everything has to have a image. You can just. I don't think that's how it works in, or are German plans different?
German plants are very different.
Yes, they all have
They
faces.
curse at you.
So we name the plant
Steve.
Steve.
Steve is a good name for everything.
Oh yes, the go-to name for anything. How dare you? I have a family.
You fucking sheep.
You forking sheep. Yeah, perfect. I will get
Nothing wrong with that.
It will get a writing award for this. So you can always click preview because here it's sometimes so these arrows show where it will be cut off. So if I'm gonna be like, I will mess you up real good. If you now go to preview, you will see it stops after I. So make sure to have a line break. I mess you up. Yeah, see, I will mess. So, so it makes sense to check longer tags for cutting off. And then we can just come back with the sheep and say,
I will fucking eat you.
Steve, show me what you got.
That's the most on it, Steve.
Yes. And now, before we can start this fight, we first have to create this monster group. So we go to the database. And now after skills and items, weapons, armors, we have enemies. And now here we have, do we actually already have a plant? Puppet, zombie, chimera, sahagin, lamia, vampire, succubus? No, we do not have. I will expand the list by pressing on change maximum. That's at 50 because we're gonna make a lot of ones. Then I will use. Actually, I go back to my character, no, my class, and I will change the HP back to the default. Just because everything is more or less balanced by default. So if I, for example, lower the HP, of course, I have to lower the enemy attacks and stuff. And this way I can just, for the beginning, just take everything out of the box. So I would start with the monsters get stronger, the default ones, the more I go down. So I will copy the slime with right click, copy.
So when you once start with slime, you suddenly end up with a demon god.
Yeah. And then we paste the slime so we don't overwhelm the sheep at the beginning and name it Steve. Oh wait, I just thought I remembered I named you Steve, but you're not Steve, you're Samosas.
I told you that and you just said yeah. And didn't do anything about it.
Yeah. Now it's fixed. Just took me like 5 minutes. Okay, so we have Steve. Then we can change the image to, I hope they have the plant here.
It's really weird to have the plant in like one category and nowhere else.
Yeah. Where is the plant? Give me the plant! Evil God, Fanatic, Fire Sprite, Gargoyle, Garuda, Gazer, General, Ghost God, Goddess, Grappler, Hero, Hornet, Ice Lady, Ifrit, Imp, Jellyfish, Kibberus, Lamia, no. Plant! There it is! Huzzah! You can also change the hue if we wanted to. Like if we want a different version, but we don't. We just want this. And this is the base monster. Like this is the blueprint for a monster. But we also have to add it to a troop, it's called. So troops is what actually are used to start combat. So these are like monster groups. So the same as enemies, I change the maximum to 50. Mayana redeemed hydrate again. Okay.
Ooh, let's drink something.
Thanks. Let's have some water so we don't die. Yeah, some more water for the plant. Exactly. Okay.
The plant should die.
Yes. So now I take an empty. I name this troop Steve. Fight. Or troop. So I know the difference between the Steve monster and the Steve troop. And then I have the list here. And I can go down and select Steve and add Steve to the battle.
Ooh.
And now I can, so this is the battle background, like this is just an example for where it will stand. It's pretty big, but you know, that's fine.
It's a big plant.
Yes. And now I press OK, and I go back double clicking on our event. And now after our dialogue, we make a new line and we say, where is it? I think it is on, yeah, it is on battle processing under scene control, the third tab. Battle processing, then we select the Steve troop. And we can select if it should be possible to escape of this fight or if it continues even when loser. So these are for special occasions. In this case, it is a intro fight, so I say no escape possible, and it shouldn't continue when I lose because I want the player to learn the fight.
If you lose, you should just delete the game.
Yes, just delete the game. If you lose to Steve, you will lose to everything. Okay. So now, let's try this. Ah! Ah, look at the sheep.
Yes.
Oh my, a tasty plant. I want to eat it. How dare you? I have a family, you fucking sheep. I will mess you up real good. Show me what you got. Ah, so loud. Ah! Steve emerged. And can I turn this down? Ah! Ah! This is volume mixer. There. Oh my god. It's crazy. Okay. Steve emerged. So yes. So now we have fight. We have attack and special where the bar is. So we could already use the great bar. Steve uses bar, it's so loud. And we see we have 41 MP, so we can just spam this because, you know, we don't care.
You can just bar at him with no tomorrow.
Yes. Just bar the plant to death. Ah, it takes a lot. Or we just attack it.
It's a lot of barring.
69 damage, nice.
Yeah, I think the normal attacking does way more damage than the bar.
There you go. So Moses was victorious. 3 XP received.
Take
5 gold found. But does the plant have ears, Mayana asked? That's a valid question. I would say yes. So now we see our first problem. Oh, look, the plant is still here. So if I walk against it again, this whole thing will repeat. Because
we are stuck in a time loop.
Exactly. Because oh, this is super small. Can I change the resolution somewhere? System. Resolution. I guess it's always this small. Shame, shame, shame. Or is this in under project settings? Game file. Edit, mode, draw, scale. No, no. Where are my options? Nope. Could have sworn there is like some project settings. Manage projects. And play, game resource flavor. Huh. Nice. Well, I don't know if you can change the resolution, but yeah, back to the problem.
Could you change like how the dialogue boxes look?
I think you can do this under here, window color.
Mm-hmm.
You can change the color. You can change the graphics too, which is under tools.
Because if I do decide to make a game like that, don't want it to look like
yeah,
default.
So here under resource manager, you have graphics system. You have window. So you would take this and make your own. So the window is basically this gray thing here and is tinted. So you could change this into whatever you want. It can be a different graphic. You just have to make sure that it's scalable or repeatable. But yeah, you can in general, all the icons, you can customize everything with own things. Game over screen, battle start, like the effect that happens. And balloon, wherever balloon is. Oh, right. You can have the characters have like little speech bubbles. Yeah, but in general, you can change a lot of things. You can also, if you want to deep dig into it, you can also change like the code of some things. Like you could recode the battle system, for example. I've seen people who turned the game into like a Zelda-like hack and slash. So everything's possible. There is you can change the combat to side view, but where was this again? Music, sound effect, common events. Where was this again? No, this was terms. So you can also change the terms, like if you want to have the level named differently, or like the gold, the currency, the stats. If you don't want to have attack, you can name it basically everything you want. Weapons, armors, like here are the basic, the elements, weapon types, skill types, everything you can change here. But where is the yeah, in the initial party, like if you want to start the game with just one character or with several, you can add them here. Display TP, player follower. Where is it again? Because I don't like the frontal one so much. Big G Maker beats Ace side battle. Could have sworn they had this. They should have this by default. Could have sworn because I saw the trailer and it was like, finally side battles again. And the troops. Test arrange.
Maybe change battle background.
No, that's just a background. It's under project settings. No. No. It's weird. Did they remove this again? Impossible. Impossible. Must be under systems. Boat, ship, airship, title screen, draw, game, title, no. Don't take this away from me! KO by slip damage, KO by flood damage. Split TP in battle. This is weird. I could have sworn! Oh, was this MV really? Did they take it away again in the VXAs? Do not dare to take my side battle away! I guess they did. Okay, this tutorial ends here. I will delete this program and... it's fine. I will just cry after I'm done here. But yeah, there are like plugins. You can also download like scripts that you can just import and it's immediately a side scroll battle. But for now, we just use it. So back to the problem we had is that this loops. So every time I will walk against this plant,
it will start anew.
Yeah. So first of all, I will add some trees here, so you cannot walk past it. Oops. Or some rocks. Let's say here, some rocks. Just today, I'm very lazy. Like this. So you have to, so you cannot walk past it, and then we will use something called switches. So you can have different tabs here. So these are called event pages. And also I would recommend already trying to get used to naming your events. So for example, if you have another event that says, that influence, like the plant, for example, if you have, I don't know, a switch somewhere that would take care of the plant, then you want to know which other event you are influencing, and if you don't name them, you just have a list of like event 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you have to guess. So just keep starting naming them what they are, and it makes your life easier later. And yes, so you have different pages and they can all have the different behavior. Just keep in mind, the system will always, if there are multiple pages, they will always use the last page. So if you have 10 pages with different dialogue, it will use, like if I start this with a dialogue, and I say, it will be that page. There will be no graphic. And no, I think it's under there. Oof. Because, and if I would now have a third page, it would be the third one. So how do we prevent this? By using switches. Switches, if for anyone who knows a bit about coding, these are basically Boolean variables. So they only have two. They can have only two states, either true or false.
I know what that is.
Yeah, basically, this is like super basic variable that you use in a lot of game development cases. If you only have two cases, in this case, they are called, the states are on and off, to just make it more understandable, like casually understandable. So you can set those switches to either on or off to have different effects. If you create a switch, they are off by default. Now there are switches and self switches. So the difference is, to know which one you want to create, is do you want any other event be influenced by this switch? So for example, let's say, I can show you an example. I make a new event here, and I will call this torch. And I will add torch. I hope they have this under items. Other? Tileset?
I think you just went past it. Go to other again.
Other?
I think it's the second one at the bottom right.
It's more like a brazier.
That kind of looks like a torch.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they should have. An actual torch. I want a torch. I want a torch. Tile set. Do you have a torch? Fine. You can just pick up like literal fire. Here, we just take the fire. Okay. So, just as an example, if you interact with this, it's called fire.
Then you take ice damage.
Exactly. Oh no, it's not looping the music. There we go. Now I can say, as soon as you interact with fire, you make the fire vanish, and you set a switch. Have it like a switch that I name like having fire or whatever I want to name to on. So I double click, and I say on the first tab under game progression, control switches. So here I can both create switches and toggle switches. So we don't have any switches. So we go to open the list, and now we have a long list of switches that have to be created. So I start with the first one and name it have fire or something that you will recognize again. And that's okay. Hit OK, make sure it's set on. And now you see, okay, if I have action button and I talk to the fire, this switch named have fire is turned on. This doesn't do anything in the game yet. All it does is setting this variable to on. So now I can create a new page that is completely empty. It has no graphic and no function, and I activate the switch and will automatically always use the first one. If I want a different one, I could just pick a different one from the list. But in this case now, you see, is on. I can also ask could have sworn you can ask if a switch is off. Guess not. Now I could say now if I talk to the fire, the fire will vanish because it goes to page 2. So first of all, it takes
you fucked up the fire.
I fucked up the fire. I took the fire, and the switch got set to on, and as soon as the switch is on, it will jump to page 2 because this is the condition for jumping to page 2. And now the difference between this and a self switch is self switch would work similar. So once the battle is over, after the battle, I can say control self switch. And there are only A, B, C, D, because those switches only exist for this event. So I can just create a pre-made switch called A, set it to on. I have the second page. It works the same way, only that I go to self switch and say A. So the difference is, if I have it, I could also use the same self switch A here. But since it only exists for this one, they can both have their own self switch A. This makes sense for events that you wanna, like a chest that you want to be open. So you don't want to create a switch for every single chest, because you would end up with having just chest 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 switches just to make sure the chests are open. For this case, just use a self switch because they're just easily self-sufficient for this one event. And as soon as you know you want to use a switch for more than one event, then you use a normal switch, because now I could be, before this whole dialogue starts, I could go in and double click on something that already exists. This will create a line for it, and I can say conditional branch. So this is basically an if condition. And I can say if, so you have different conditions you can set, but in most cases, 90% of the case, you will use switches. So I can say if I have my switch have fire on, then I can have something happen. And if not, something else happens. So this, whatever I put in here, happens when the switch fire is on. The other thing will happen as soon as it's not on. So I could take everything I did before, hold shift and click the last one to select all of them. And now, oops. And I can cut or control X to cut it and press under else and paste it. Because everything that I have here, what we did before, I want to happen when have fire is off. But now I want, if have fire is on, I want to have a different dialog. So I go in here, double click, show text. So it's a different dialog. And Steve will be, oh my God, is that fire?
I'm allergic to fire.
I'm allergic to fire. And now I could, I will move the plant away because, you know, German plants not only have faces, Mariana, they can also walk. It is very known. They're very advanced in Germany. So I will make a new line, and this is under movement, second tab. Set move route. Fascinating. Yes, indeed. Set move route. Then I can select this event, or if I want to be sure, I select Steve. This is earlier when I said name them. That makes things easier. And now I will just have them move to the right, I don't know, 10 times. So they walk out of the picture. And I make sure to have wait for completion. So,
also do move right once and then click repeat action.
Yeah, I could do that too. That's probably more elegant. I mean, both works. Where's repeat action? Where did you see it?
Left bottom in the window.
Left foot. Oh, right. But I think it does a short break between this.
Okay.
So I'll just... Also, then it I don't know when it is over because I want to turn it off after it did this. I can also change speed. So I could go to the beginning and say change speed to 4 times
Make
faster.
Really fast
because
flower.
it is really scared and very allergic and runs away. So, and then I can use the same switch. I can, because, you know, I just want it to vanish. I remove the oof and I will copy the switch A to here. So it's basically the same outcome, only that I don't have a combat. And if anything goes too fast, people, or for Usmos, just let me know. I can repeat things or do slower. Like don't hesitate to like slow me down or have. I'd be happy to explain something again if it's not clear. So now if I go without the fire, it will be just the same. So it will say, hey, blah blah blah, everything we did before. Fight will start. And what's with the background? Oh, probably because I didn't set a background. So now it's dead. And it will be gone. See?
Yeah.
So, but if I do this now with the fire. I'll take the fire. Now it should have the different dialogue. Oh my God, is that fire? I'm allergic to fire! Ah! And it's gone. There we go. And we already have a simple 2 outcome puzzle with no scripting, just with buttons. So it looks now a bit complicated, but basically all we did is have the conditional branch asking if fire is on or off, and then have one string of events if it's on, and the other string of events if it's off. And you can make this very complex. You could have another conditional branch right under it. So it could be like, if you have fire and you know the name of this character, then the character will say this and that. So you can have dialogue that is very specific to certain things the player knows. Right, and there's a small thing now that I'd like to tweak. If we go to the fire, and if you look at the fire, just
and you see the abyss.
If I pick, I see the abyss, but after the abyss, if I talk to the fire, you will see it turns like blue for just a short moment and then vanishes. This is because events will look at you when you talk to them. So if you use an NPC as an image, like a person, you see like it will stand like this. And if I go to the left and I talk to her, then the sprite will go to this one. And the same happens to the fire. So if I go to flame, you'll see I have used this fire. So if I talk to the fire from the left, it will turn to this sprite because it's like I turn to the hero. You can avoid this by saying direction fix. So that way it will always look into the same direction no matter where you talk to. Oh, I have to go to the flame extra to do this. This is there. Direction fix. And also, I don't like that it just vanishes without any feedback. I'm another hydrate. Okay. Sure, let's water our figurative plants.
And water or fire.
Alright, almost forgot. To help kill the fire, Mariana is on top of everything. Okay. So yeah, feedback is important. Like when you make games, you want to give the player feedback for anything that happens, even if it's just subtle. Just having the fire vanish without a sound, without anything, it doesn't feel good. So before I switch do the fire switch, I will just have a short text, and it just says you
explosion.
Pick up 1 kilogram of fire. There. Easy. And now
I didn't know people rate fire.
they do in Germany. We're very efficient. Yeah, so now we have it will not turn, and we'll pick it up. And we can also even have a sound effect. Like at 3. Like I've been using RPG Maker for years and I still can't remember which command is under which tab. So this will be your daily struggle. It is under system settings, map battle, or is it under 2? Music and sound. Okay, it's under 2, music and sound. Play BGS, so BGS background sound, BGM is background music. So we could now, actually BGS is like loops, like ambient sounds. You want sound effects, so SE. Play SE for sound effect. And I usually pick one sound as a general like item.
How about chicken?
Chicken. Yeah, we can use the chicken.
Down.
There.
Yeah.
So you pick one, like you should be consistent. So every time you pick up an item, like from a chest or something, you should use the same sound. So in this case, it's the chicken.
Yeah.
I have to open the mixer to have it, so people can hear the beautiful chicken.
The chicken box.
Yep. Where did it go? Huh? Oh, there's a slide bar. There we go. Okay. Well, you could raise the time limit. Here we go. Perfect. Now there's a chicken sound and a little text. And now let's drive Steve away. Ah! Perfect. And now we should also see now under status, I think that we have gained XP. No, we didn't gain XP. So let's see. Oh, right, because we didn't fight. But we could be like, okay, but if you solve the problems without fighting, I still want the player to have XP, so I can do this manually. So I can go to database and look up how much XP this monster gives under here, under Steve. The monster you see gives 3 XP. So now I can go into our event, and before, it's important, always do these things before you hit the switch, because if you activate the switch, it will immediately go to this site. So if I would add this now after, it will go to page 2 before it even happens. So always make sure to apply the things before the switch. And now I think this is... The search for the right tab begins anew. Item, weapon, party member, here. Under first tab, actor, change EXP. You can say entire party, it doesn't...
Stands for experience points.
Exactly. Entire party, because it does make sense. It doesn't matter, we are only one. We could also just pick us, Osmosis, and say constant 3. So in this case, we gain 3 experience points both ways. Either we fight it or we solve it with a fire. We could now decide to hide the fire more into like a tunnel, like make a short passage. But this is like game design things. Yeah. So in this case, we have combat, we have the switches. So in this case now you see it's just a pretty easy rule of thumb. Use self switches whenever you can. As soon as you know you want to use that switch for other events or later again with different things, use normal switches. Because these carry over also in different scenes. So if you have like 5 maps, and on the 5th map I still have the switch have fire on. And
so if you killed the plant now, then on the 5th map there will be plant children that want to kill you because you killed their father.
Exactly.
But if you didn't kill him and he just ran away, they don't want to kill you because their father is still alive.
Exactly. And I could also have now, like, I don't know, a hole in here. Is this a hole? No, tile set. I need a hole in the ground. Give me a hole in the ground. Not in the wall. I could use... Here, this is a hole.
Yeah.
So I could be like...
I'm a hole.
You throw your fire into the hole like a lunatic. So it could also be now... take the switch and turn it back off. So that works the same way. So I have fire, turn it off, and say use a self switch A on, and use this for... Oh wait, yeah. No, actually, I don't need to. I don't need to self switch. I can just have this be on have fire. So it will always start with the last one. No, this doesn't work. It will immediately take the last one. So I have to wait. So I copy event page, paste event page. So here we do it like this. The other way around. So always starts with the last page. And I will but only activate this one if I even have the fire. I cannot throw the fire away if I don't have any fire. So in this way it will if once I set this.
So you would need to work backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Now, as soon as I turn this off, it would start the second page because it wants to start with the last one. But since this is not on anymore, it will go to this. So let's try that out. Doop 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 doop. Give me some fire. 1 kilogram of fire. Run away, Steve! Run for your life! And now. Oh no. Why not working?
Did you make the event for the
Action button or below character? Oh, that's the problem. If it's below character, you have to be on the tile to activate it. Fire! Run! And now throw it away. No, still not working. Why? I have the fire. I have the fire!
You do have the fire and there's a hole.
Yep. Okay, where's the problem? So... I guess it...
If you click on it, there should be a text, and then after text, the switch should turn off.
Yeah. Maybe they changed it that it is... After... Have fire.
On page 2, you still have it on below character.
Oh. Alright, I changed the wrong one. Good eye. Let's see if that's the culprit. Aha! Ah, the chicken gives me fire. Run away, Steve. Run away. There we go. You throw the fire and throw like a lunatic. And now I don't have fire anymore, which is really sad, but you know.
Yeah.
Player choices matter.
Mm.
There we go. But now there's nothing else.
Find Steve.
Yep. Now it's the quest to find Steve. So there's only a game if you come there with fire. Yeah. So what else can I show you? How to change maps actually. It would be... So we could now create a new map. With right click, say new map. Say town, for example. And we name this Adrian's Hollow. Wow.
Ooh.
Sounds ominous.
Yeah.
25 times 25. I don't care. We could add... if you would want random encounters like in traditional ones, you would add them here. And you can say like on average how many steps it takes to have a new encounter. I'm not a fan of random encounters, so I usually don't.
Neither am I.
Yeah, I usually place them like this on the map, and yeah, you can have the maps parented, so you could have like if you have maps for the houses in the town, you can put them all under the town, so you don't get a huge list. And now, oh, I used the wrong tile set. So I want exterior. Now we put in more grass. Have to be on the
Flood fill.
flood fill, right? Now I just do it. Where are the houses here? There are the houses. Just one house. As an example. Where are my rocks? Here are my rocks. Let's use this. Oh no, I don't want to. There's one.
The entire place is my house.
Yep. Here's a wonderful, wonderful brick house, and we use here.
And it has shadow.
Yeah, immediately adds a shadow. Then we have a wonderful roof. Look at this craftsmanship. Actually, I want to be a proper magnificent. Oh no, this was the wrong one, wasn't it? Oh no, this is Yeah, never mind. It's a corner. Never mind. Just stick with what we have here. There we go. It's a pretty small house. Let's make it a little bigger.
Mm.
These people deserve a bigger house. Oh, no, it stopped again. And here. Oops, no, this one. Okay. Go. And now some windows. Yeah, pretty windows. There. Isn't this the most beautiful house we've ever seen? And now we just need a door. Is this a door? Is this supposed to be a door?
This looks like a door.
Yeah, it's a fear. Oh. Ah. This doesn't fit. No, I think this is a window. There's a door. Okay.
Nice.
So now I could be going back to our intro map. Close this up. Like this. Just a little. Have like a little path. And say as soon as I reach this part, any of these tiles, this will teleport me to the town. I use this also as an event. So anytime something interactive should happen, just always go to the event tab. And now double click. Oh no, actually we can right click. There's quick event creation for transfer, door, treasure chest, and inn. So these are so frequently used that they have like a quick creation. So we use transfer, and we then can pick the designate. If we double click, we can pick the map, and then the goal, the target. So somewhere here, for example. And then you can say retain direction. This means if you have different teleports, like if you walk from top to bottom and you teleport, then you still face bottom. This is just so it keeps the wherever you're looking the same. And you can call this town teleport. And now you can just copy paste this with Control C and Control V. You can just copy them all along the way, so that no matter on which tile I land, I will always get teleport to Adrian's Hollow. Okay, fire, because I don't want to fight. I do not want to fight. Huzzah! Run away, and the fire is too hot. Dump it, and now, ta-ta! And now you see Adrian's Hollow is like shown at the top. And now we have our one house town. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
So, but this would be the same. Now I could use, I could use the right click quick event door and do the same thing if I had a map for the house. I would transfer the player there. Yeah, and when you can now decorate this with more houses or with a plaza or whatever, you know, you feel like this could have some water and
Yeah, because it's a fancy place.
exactly, it's like a huge town. We have like a dragon statue in the center, a statue in the pond of the water, and then we can have NPCs. So we go back to the event and, for example, double click here and pick one of the peoples, doesn't matter which, like this old lady, and we can have a dialogue.
Greetings, traveler.
Exactly. She's called Gundula. Greetings, traveler. And we can have them move random. So here's autonomous movement. We can have random or approach that would slowly move towards the hero, which is creepy. So we go to random.
Kinda.
You can also have fixed. So if you want, why does it not work? Oh, it has to be parallel no. Huh?
Should be a parallel process.
Oh, custom. Custom, I could give them their own path if I want to be sure they walk exactly like around the house all the time, for example. You don't have to have parallel process for this. The movement does it by itself. You only have to have parallel process if you want this, whatever is in this box, to happen at the same time, like parallel to you. So in this case, we say random. And now for testing purposes, since I don't want to do the plan thing over and over again, I could also just in event view, right click here and say set starting position as player. So now I
Airship?
Yeah, for you can have vehicles, ships and stuff, airships. So now I immediately start at the town, and now I see this old lady just randomly walks around, and I can talk to her. She says, "Greetings, traveler." Doodle-doot-doot-doot. Doodle-doot-doot. And I can't walk in the water, that's already taken care of. Can't walk into the wall, also already taken care of. Yeah. And I could also just copy paste her with Control C and V. And then change to a different person. And with space or with right click edit, just change whatever I have here. Say Adam, hey, do you want me to show you some sweet dance moves? And now we already have 2 NPCs. I mean, when we do the Cares a Lot game, we can also like load pictures into the resource manager and then have actual Adam's face and your face and my face when you talk to the people. There you go. Okay. And what's pretty neat is in later versions you have all sorts of effects. I could now have an event that handles, for example, that is parallel process, and it handles, for example, the color and the weather. So I could say as soon as I come to this town, for example, tint screen to like sunset. So I could be like, once you're in the town, it's sunset, and I could add set weather effect to rain, like light rain. And then how long it should take to do the effect. Actually, I don't want this to immediately happen. So as soon as I start here, it will immediately be sunsetty and rainy. Ah, another hydrate from Mayana.
Gotta fill that, what's it called?
Yeah, because I said rain. Because I said rain. Helps with the rain, right? Water.
Because this place is actually inside of us, and it's raining because we're drinking something.
Exactly. Yeah, see? There we go. Thanks, Liana. Yeah, so now it is sunsetty. The sheep runs through a city that is raining. And yeah, you can have like different effects with that. And you can also have different effects depending on variables. So We'll remove this for now. And yeah, I think this is just one last thing I can show before we end this crash course, is how cutscenes would work. So I would say, like, let's say we have so a wall or something. I don't care. I'll just make when you want, as soon as you want to leave the town. Yeah, pretty much. I have this in the background while doing other things, and my ear just perk up when there's water to be had. Well, I appreciate it. Right, so I will have an event called cutscene. This is player touch. And as soon as the player touches this, it will activate a self switch. To go to a new page, which is then auto run. Because we remember auto run stops the player from doing anything and will play everything here. So there's a thing that doesn't do anything on the page that doesn't do anything until I touch it. Then I activate self switch A, which is important for page 2, and page 2 is an auto run. So as soon as I touch it, I will stop and this auto run will play. So now I could have events in hiding here. For example, I could have I make a new first page is empty. Actually, I don't want to use a self switch right now, because I want the others to be visible as soon as this cutscene starts. So I will make an actual switch, name it cutscene started, and just beware that you will have a lot of switches. Like even when you use self switches like smart, you will end up having a lot of switches, and it's normal. Just try to minimize them with self switches when you can, but it's also natural to have like a lot of switches if the game is longer. So cutscene started, we have to change it here too. So either double click here or press on the 3 dots and go to cutscene started. And now we can have this new event, which we will call the villain. And the first page is empty, and the second page pops up as soon as we have the cutscene started. And we will use
evil.
Evil? Where's evil?
Evil.
Evil. There, yes. We will use this one with the mask. Looks evil. And villain. And I will copy this here. I will call this villain guard 1. And this will be this character, the helmed evil guy. And I will copy this one to this side and call this villain guard 2 with the same sprite. That's okay. And then I can be, as soon as this starts, these characters automatically pop up because of the switch. And then I can move them forward. So I can go in here. I can wait so it doesn't, well, let's make it immediately. So I can be set move route on the second tab. Then I can drop down the list, pick villain, move the villain to the left twice, and say wait for completion, because otherwise the event will continue while they move. And Then I will do the same for the guards, but they move just one to the left, so they stand like one behind their master. And villain guard 2 moves left. So now I'll just move my thing over here. So I'm close to this, and now I'll walk into the event.
Ah.
We see. Well, now the problem just is... Oh no, where did it go? Here. That since I said wait for event to end, is that they do it one after another because it has the wait on. So first the villain moves, then waits, then the guard moves, then waits. So I don't want that. I want them all to move together. So what I can do is turn this off for all and add a wait command after. So double click, and here on the second page
Can
there's...
you not just make the last guard wait?
I could try if this works. Might. Well, I have to add dialogue to see if it actually works. Something that happens after. So I will add the evil dialogue of the masked person. Mysterious Manfred.
See, very mysterious if you know his name.
Mysterious Ranger. Oh.
And then just type evil dialogue.
Ah, sheep. Okay, now let's test this. Yeah, you're right. Nice.
Nice.
It's a good trick. Oh, a sheep. So now you see they will repeat this over and over again because it is... So that's the special thing with autorun, because this is basically a very invasive type of event. So once it's done, it will repeat. So you have to always end an autorun event with a switch to an empty page. But we're not done yet. So we can also move the main character. We could like add a wait command, like wait. So 50 is in frames, so 60 frames is 1 second. So I could wait a second or maybe half a second. And then move the player back. Set move route, player. I want the sheep to move backwards. So if I cannot just go move left because then it will turn around. So I have to there's somewhere face lock, I think. Turn direction fix on. Then
there's also a thing called one step backward.
Yeah, we can try that. I'm not sure if it... One step backward. Yeah, we can try if the facing makes sense, that the facing will be retained. And then a dialogue. Nope, sheep. Moses. Who are you? And then the other one will respond with mysterious stranger. Why, the villain, of course. I am here to lay waste to this town that has absolutely no value to me. And he will continue with, but say, are you
a celebrity?
the chosen sheep? So what's also nice, this is a nice tweak, is there are text commands. So if you hover over the text and don't move, then it should usually there are different commands. So you can have wait. At the bottom there is wait for 1 second, is a backslash and a straight line. So I could have a break for, he says that, with backslash and this line. And then I can also, you can have those speech bubbles. So I could also be adding, where are they though? Show input? No. Where is the speech bubble? Character. Show balloon icon. Question. And then you will just say, what the fudge are you talking about? Okay, now let's see.
For sheep are not allowed to swear.
Yeah. Oh, a sheep. Who are you? Why, the villain, of course, I'm here to, it's cut off, to this town that is absolutely no value. But say, are you the chosen sheep? What the fudge are you talking about? And now they repeat. Okay. And
But
now...
I was thinking that would make me laugh if you don't put a switch in there.
And it just keeps on forever.
And just move continuously, and then you press enter, and they continuously like move, and he like chases the sheep.
Yep, it's just a game, like 10 hours of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you can have like cool effects. Like, let's say the villain destroys the town. You could copy this town and paste it and name it Town Destroyed. And now have, they're like dead people, skeletons. Yeah, here. Can have a skeleton instead of this lady and instead of this person. And there are like cracks here. So we can have like this. This. And we could have fire, flame, like this one. I guess this one is okay. This is something now what I would put on parallel process. Where I can animate this. So I could use 3 pages. No, clear. No, delete event page. So I can wait half a second, then turn self switch on. A. Copy this, paste this. Second page has the second fire animation. Turn on self switch B. Copy event page, last event page, third fire image. And now I would just turn both off again. So that way it will just cycle through. So first image, self switch A, second image, self switch B. There's a change here. And then both off will go back to the start. And this way I will have like a fire effect, so I can have the fire just everywhere. Whole town is burning because, you know, it's destroyed. And we have a parallel event that just tints everything a little gray. Tint screen. Gray. Of course, you know, it's that. And I can delete all these events. And now I can go to the town, have on the, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he's gonna just go continuing the music. And then say mysterious stranger. Ah, you bore me. I will now destroy everything. And now we can tint the screen. Or just teleport, you know. We can add a last event. Transfer player to our destroyed town, and just remember where the event is one step backwards, so we would be transferred here. So let's try this out. Oh, a sheep. Who are you? Why, the villain, of course, I'm here to destroy this town that has absolutely no value to me. But say, are you the chosen sheep? What the fudge are you talking about? Ah, you bore me, I will destroy everything. And now we have a destroyed town and a very epic cutscene. Oh, you can't hear me anymore in Discord. Dead. How about now? I can't hear you either. But I mean, this was anyway the last thing. So this crash courses were already a lot. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, now it works.
Hi.
Yes.
But
So
yeah, seems pretty much like the ending.
yes. So we have now transferred ourselves to a map that looks more destroyed, and we now have our origin story. The sheep who wants to take revenge on mysterious stranger who just burned this entire town to the ground, and the nice old lady and Adam. Oh no, Adam!
Oh no,
We're gonna
Adam died.
revenge Adam. We're gonna find a material component to resurrect Adam. Yes. So this was a very quick crash course through RPG Maker. If you have any older versions of RPG Maker, most of these things work just the same there. They might be at a different tab or have a slightly different name, but they work the same. Older versions don't have self switches, but then you just have to use switches for everything, which is a bit more cumbersome, but it just works the same. Yeah, that was it.
It's been a nice adventure.
Yes, and we wanted to do a stream at some point where we all create a Cares a Lot RPG. So hopefully that will happen also sometime in the future.
Yeah.
But there will hopefully be more Zeintroduced tutorials. We have ideas for Photoshop and Foundry, Roll20, and whatever you could think of. So hopefully you will join us next time. Thanks for watching. If you haven't pushed the follow button yet, we would highly appreciate any follow. That helps us maintain a presence here on Twitch. And yeah, follow us on Swordquill1 on Twitter, or Samosas_senpai on Twitter. And Photoshop, you're absolutely sure you don't want to do GIMP? Nope. I have never used GIMP before, and I have used Photoshop for so many years that I will probably lose my hair for any other different program that I now have to use. Yes, I know. I just have the creative suite. I'm so dependent on all the programs in there. But maybe one day when I'm old and have time, I can learn different program. Yeah. Okay. Then, stay wonderful, everyone, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.